Hey, it's me. I'm alive. Sort of, kind of. Feeling much, much better than I have for the past week and a half, or maybe even a little longer. Wanted to start out here, then we're going to go back to the studio and just sit and chat. If you guys can manage to listen to me and my little raspy voice and occasional cough, let's just chat. I missed everybody. I've just missed hanging out. Wanted to show you what's going on here since the last time we were together. I'm very excited. All of my babies and almost ready to go in the garden. That one just didn't do so well. Down here we've got some peas and some onions and some cabbages. And the asparagus, they actually did really, really well. I was proud of them. Both little trays of asparagus. Probably about 90% germination, I'm thinking. Some more cabbages. And let's go back up here because what I wanted to talk to you guys today. Oh, let me open my little book. Hold on, be patient with me. Alright, what I wanted to talk with you about today. Oops, I'm ripping pages out. It's hard for me to hold anything and do something else with my other hand. Alright. I had written everything down, what was on the different trays, so that I could keep up with it. And what I'm going to talk to you about today is actually the Vegetables Love Flowers book. Let me see. This is L. So let's go down here to my little cheat sheet, and I see the L is the little fingers, carrots, and then also the shinkarata, if that's pronounced right. I'm not sure. So that tray is carrots, and yes, I understand that carrots can be direct sowed. These are all just kind of experiments for me. Mainly, I really like growing plants inside, starting them inside. They may not transplant so well. I've read that they don't enjoy being transplanted, but you can. So I'm just going to be very, very careful with them and do that. And on this tray, we have, let me see, this is J. And let me see what's growing on J2 is celery. And then these other trays, or these other blocks, just didn't do so well. So I don't know if anything's going to come up on the rest of it. But we do have some little celeries. And we'll get those planted out soon. Alright. And this tray, I've got to come out and water them after this video, is M. M is the Yodfa broccoli. So we've got lots of little broccoli plants right there. In this tray, I actually ended up overlooking these two cells completely and never even planted anything in them. But this is tray C. So on tray C, these two are dill. These two blocks are dill. So we have dill started. Alright, let me see. That's B, and back there is F. So on B, we have snapdragons. That whole tray is snapdragons. And F, no, that's not right. What did I say? B. Okay. B is snapdragons. What was the other one? Hold on a minute. Oh, E. Half of them are straw flowers, and the other half are snapdragons. So we have lots of snapdragons started. All right. And then we have tray A. And that's full of nice looking little plants. Let me see. Tray A is rapini broccoli. So I have two trays of broccoli. And if you're unfamiliar with these two types of broccoli that I was talking about, they grow tall and skinny like an asparagus. They're not a big bunching broccoli. and they have like a little broccoli floret looking head at the top, and they're supposed to kind of taste a little bit like a cross between asparagus and broccoli. So, excuse me. Overlook, I am fine. I am so much better than I was last week that we're just going to say we're good. All right, this one is K. It looks like we have several different little type of plants growing on there. Let's go over here and look. Let me see. K is alyssum, romaine lettuce, and sweet alyssum. So we have several little things going on that one. And then, let me see, H. This is H. These are very colorful little dudes. Look at that. Aren't they beautiful? Let's go over here and see what H is. H is rainbow beets. Rainbow blend beets. That whole little tray. And yes, that's another plant that really just will probably do much better being direct sown. And I'll tell you in a minute why I'm choosing to do a lot of these, especially with our gardens this year. All right, this is actually I. I'm holding the camera at the wrong angle. So this is I. And those are finally coming on. That little tray right there, or that little block group right there. Some of these may or may not still show up with little plants in there. Some, yeah, so you can see one, you see right there. It's just now coming on. Some of the seedlings just take them a little longer. So I, let's look down here at I. It's spinach, there's another celery, and then a speckled Amish butterhead lettuce. All right. Well, as you can see, they've all grown considerably since y'all were here visiting with me last time. These peas desperately need to go in the garden. That's going to happen this week. The onions can go as well. Even these little bitty cabbage plants, they're, you know, look at them. They're 2 inches, 3 inches tall, and they're really pretty much ready to go in. The asparagus can go in as well. I've got to decide whether I'm going to cover them with a little white garden cloth. I may do that, especially the flowers. I may do that. It'll be another week, maybe 2 weeks before I put my flowers in. I'm going to let them get upwards of also 3 to 4 inches tall. But, excuse me. Let's run the gamut. Yes. Of all the doggies. There's just no end to doggies. Let me see, where's the other 2? There's one. Where's everybody at? Let me see, 1, 2, 3. Let me count them all before I go back yonder. 4, 5, 6. Who are we missing? 7. Oh, he's over there in Pop's chair. That's Biggin. He's in Pop's chair. He just blended in. I didn't see him. All right. Now, as we're headed through, if you guys don't mind, I'm going to make a pit stop and get a cup of coffee. Just made another pot this morning because I only had a half a cup. And I just need a little bit more get up and go juice. Look at the eggs from yesterday. Are they not gorgeous? I love these green ones. They're such a pretty egg. I'm not sure which one of those are some from Aaron's girls, and I'm not sure which ones lay those. But at some point, I'd certainly like to have some more of them. All right. And usually I don't drink anything in my coffee, but with my throat still being a little bit sore, a little bit of cream actually, I don't know, makes the acid in the coffee, I guess, a bit softer. So that's my excuse. All right. Now while we're walking back here, I did want, oh, look. I think this afternoon I'm going to be making banana bread. That looks like a necessity. You can't always just stick the bananas in the freezer in their peel. I've done that, and they do fine. Usually what I do is go ahead and peel them. Nala, are you needing water, or are you trying to get something? Watch out. No, there's plenty of water. You're just trying to be obnoxious. All right. Here we go. Usually I peel the bananas first and then freeze and put them in a freezer baggie. All right, let's head back. Leave the doggies. All the doggies have to stay. You guys go lay down. Be good. All right, as you can see, we have no more plants in here on heat trays or on heat mats. That will be changing in about a week. I'll be blocking and starting the plants that go out in the warmer weather months. In this room back here, it got really cold yesterday, and I had the heat not turned up quite enough, and it looks like my little African violets survived, but I don't think they were necessarily real happy about it. These over here in the windowsill look good, though. Their little flowers are just coming on quite nicely. Yay. Got to find homes for them. That's funny. All right. I've got you on this really long extension pole, so let me pull it all the way out. And there we go. Yeah, that works out pretty good. I can lower you down a little bit. My eyes are still a little bit swollen. Or my sinus area is a little bit swollen, so. I had something about 2 weeks ago, and I know that y'all had journeyed with me through that. And it was not really that big of a deal. I was very tired, which was just the big thing. I didn't feel that bad, other than just being tired and kind of hot and cold, flashy. And that seemed to be the bulk of it. And I thought that, and then Aaron got sick with this respiratory thing. And I thought, well, I just had a milder version of that. I didn't have the respiratory part of it, because he was also hot and cold, flashy, and really tired. But then it hit, and Hugh got it as well, and it has knocked us on our butt. It was, I think it's been a full week and a half, and there were several days that both of us we did nothing. We didn't get out of the chair. We took care of the critters, what the critters had to have done. Of course, and Aaron, when he was available, he did all that anyway, and Aaron took care of the meals, and because thankfully, by the time it hit us hard, he was getting better. I had the COVID test, and Aaron had the COVID test. Both of those came back negative, so I don't know if it was a false negative. But I decided I wasn't going to go to the trouble of going to the Ingles and getting another test, simply because it's a nasty enough illness that if I have to be around anybody, I'm putting a mask on anyway. I just don't want to share this with anybody. So it's ugly. Hope none of you have it, get it, or I'm just to the point that I'm gonna start wearing my masks again when I go in a store. Of course, that won't protect me from Aaron. No. Excuse me. That was ornery of me. I love my son. I just don't love what he brought home. But anyway, it's just some things you just can't avoid. There's illnesses out there. But now that's why I wanted to get to this point. I have been reading the books on iodine, and I know have mentioned that before. I'm on my 4th book on iodine. That's how fascinating this subject is to me. And I am quite amazed that it's becoming a really big topic in the medical community, but not as quickly as it should. It turns out that iodine was in the soil, and it still should be in the soil, but the farming practices, the big industry farming practices especially, but to some extent us smaller farmers, we've depleted the soil to the point that a lot of the trace minerals and things aren't there. They're not available for the to be in the food that we use to harvest. And iodine is one of those, and it is so very necessary, not just for our thyroid, which I have two different thyroid diseases, and that's one of the reasons I started studying the thyroid issue to begin with. But I've just been amazed at how much deeper and how much bigger that is than just your thyroid gland. Your entire body needs iodine, and they're finding some amazing correlations with iodine deficiency and a lot of the different diseases that we have. One of the interesting things in one of the books that I read was written about 10 years ago, so it was before the COVID-19, but it was talking about the coronaviruses, and the point was made in this book that lack of iodine made you susceptible to the coronaviruses, but that sufficient amount of iodine in your body would protect you from so many of those sorts of viruses and a number of diseases that we deal with, from skin cancers, breast cancer, prostate cancer. A lot of those types of diseases have gone up tremendously since the 1970s, when iodine was removed from bakery products, and products like bromide, which are fire retardant and different things like that, started to be used. And bromide and chlorine and fluoride, which is we're so basically inundated with, take up space in the receptors that's for iodine. So even if you eat foods that have iodine in them, like fish and eggs to an extent, and I can't think of them right off the top of my head, but if you eat those things and you have iodine in your system, it has nowhere to go because those receptors are blocked by these other things that are not beneficial for your body. So anyway, I'm just going to encourage all of us to continue on this journey of studying the iodine. And we have started taking something, it's an iodoral, Iodoral. You can get it on Amazon, and the 12.5 milligrams is what it's the tablet is what we're taking every day right now. I eventually plan on increasing that dosage for a while, up to maybe a year or so, until we have a sufficient amount of iodine in our system. Now, please, nobody take my advice on this as something you need to do. You need to talk to your doctor, your healthcare provider. You need to do your own investigation in this topic and make your own decisions for your personal health. I'm just telling you something because I care about you guys, and I think that this is something that I need to personally, because I know about it, I'm just trying to get it out there to the people that I have a voice to speak to. And so I think I'll let you know as we go. When I was taking it fairly regularly, and then I'm bad about supplements. I forget about them. I'll set them in the windowsill, and 4 days later I'll think, oh, I should have taken those. Excuse me. May have been a little early to make a video. I'm sorry, guys. I have been missing you, but I don't cough too badly unless I start laughing. So I need to stop laughing, okay? This is me not laughing. All right. Now, the other subject I want to talk with you guys today, because many of you are my gardening buddies, and this won't be of interest to some of you, I understand. I know I've talked about this book, and I've talked about this book, and I've talked about this book, but I'm on a kick about it again. And I tell you why. Lisa Ziegler is my hero. I've learned so much from her. My first experience, the first time I met her was about 6 years ago maybe, at the Asheville Ag Center. The Mother Earth News Conference was there, and Hugh and I went 2 years in a row, and it was such a good time. We had such a good time. That's when his interest in having a sawmill kind of reignited. So I learned a lot of different things from Lisa Ziegler, including the soil blocking. But this morning, as I was scrolling through her YouTube channel, now if you go to the Gardener's Workshop on YouTube, we'll just go to the YouTube, because you can go to thegardenersworkshop.com and visit her webpage, and there's information available there too, and videos available there. But on the YouTube channel, then hit the little, if you subscribe, then you hit the little icon, and it will bring up across the top, it will give you options if you scroll them for the playlist. And if you hit the playlist and go down, then you can find the one that has 9 videos correlated to this book. And she will go through the chapters of this book with you. I did that YouTube study a couple of years ago, but I was excited to find it again, because to me, things tend to go in one ear and out the other, so to speak. I have a hard time holding on to information. So for it really to solidify, sometimes I have to hear it and see it and read it again and again and again. So when I ran across that this morning, I thought, oh my goodness, I've got to make sure that my little gardening buddies know that's available on YouTube. You need to check her channel out. And I would really, 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 really encourage you to purchase this book. It's one of my favorite books of all time. And I mean, if for nothing else, just the beautiful flower at the video, or the photographs in it, but also the information is just stellar. It's a book you would not regret purchasing. But if you have it, when you decide to watch the YouTube videos along with it, that would be even extra benefit, because you could read the chapter and then listen to her, and you'll pick up a few things that maybe were not in the book or not as clear in the book. So it's something I just really want to strongly encourage my little planting buddies to look into. And other than that, I want to just thank all of those of you who have expressed concern for me and Hugh. We're doing much, much better. He was outside, as a matter of fact. He's been working on his tractor the last couple of days. I seem to just kind of be dragging behind the boys just a day or two. And I think that that's probably because I had some kind of a little virus maybe a week or so before we ended up with this respiratory thing. So the iodine is definitely an everyday thing for me. I'm going to make sure of it. I'm making sure that it is for the boys as well, and for Chelsea. And I'm just excited to see how it helps to resolve some of the issues that we've had for our whole lives. Some of us, me with the thyroid issue I've had since I was 20. I started taking thyroid medication when I was 20 years old. So it's been a kind of a lifetime issue for me, and at least my entire adult life. So I'm ready for it to just show some signs of improvement. And I'm hoping that those of you that decide to check it out and think that and decide to try your own little experiment with it, that it will help you with maybe some of the issues you're having. I'm really hoping that it will help all of us to have such a strong immune presence in our body that we don't have these virus issues ever again. Let me just tell you this. I felt so bad. Let me see, what is today? Wednesday? Probably about Sunday morning. I remember waking up, and as I was waking up, I was saying to myself, I don't ever want to be sick again. I don't ever want to be sick again. I don't ever want to be sick again. There I went and started laughing. But it was amusing and pathetic at the same time. So anyway, I plan on never being sick again. Just thank y'all for your concern, and we are absolutely on the road to recovery. And I think tomorrow, maybe you'll follow along with me. I'm going to go ahead and bake that bread, but I'll put that video on tomorrow. So anyway, love you all, and just have a wonderful rest of your week. Stay healthy, and just a quick acknowledgement. Those of you that have suffered some of this horrendous rain and snow, you've been on our hearts. We've watched the weather and the news with just great concern for some of you that have been dealing with this. I hope that this spring shows us a great deal of mercy, and that we're not dealing with these types of issues over the course of the next few months. Let's just hold each other in our hearts and walk each other home. And I'll talk to you tomorrow. Bye, y'all.